Meanwhile, one of the teams trying to keep up with the Cavs made a splashy move today. Toronto pulled the trigger on Serge Ibaka, bringing the versatile big man north from Orlando in exchange for Terrence Ross and the lesser of the Raptors' 2 first-round draft picks this summer. Ibaka, averaging 15 points, 7 boards, nearly 2 blocks a game for the Magic, made first-team All-D 3 different times and remains the active NBA leader in block percentage. See, Webb, what can he mean to this Toronto team that just has not been able to find its way here lately?
Man, I love this trade. I love this trade. Kevin said something earlier in our meeting that I'll let him get to that I agree with 1,000%. So based on if it happens to what you're going to say, Kevin, but the reason why I love this trade is because the one thing I hated about Toronto, and I said this in the beginning of the season, and all Toronto fans hated me, just because DeMar DeRozan started off crazy, breaking Michael Jordan's records. This is not an offense that is conducive to winning the playoffs. Yeah. This is like, you know what, we'll stop your best player. This is a terrible offense Toronto has. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. And I believe that now with Ibaka, you have a guy that spaces the floor. You have a guy that can hit a jump hook inside. And if he gets back to his old identity, I'll let you get there. With this tough defense that they have, if he gets back to his old identity, they're going to be tough.
He needs to be back to that guy who was an all-defensive member. I think he's fell in love with his jump shot. I really do. I think he said, I had to get working on my jump shot. Hey, look, I was in Oklahoma City. We made some trades. They move Harden. I'm going to move up. I'm going to be the third option. I got to score more. If he rebounds the ball in defense, because he can switch, he can get down, he can get in the stance and guard guards. You can switch. He can guard wings. If he gets back to his identity and just says, you know what, I'm going to take the open shots. Lowry's going to create shots for me. DeRozan's going to have all kinds of attention and becomes a really good defender, rebounder, this is a huge move. If he becomes a dude that stands on the three-point line and says, hey, I'm going to try to help us score 120, good luck. But Dwayne Casey will not accept
that's true.
Dwayne Casey will not accept him not playing defense.
Can he do both, though? Because, I mean, playing devil's advocate here a little bit, he gives them something they don't have a lot of, which is three-point shooting. They don't take a lot of three-point, and he shoots 39% from three.
It's not that he can't give them that, but what they need more, I mean, and remember this, they're second in the conference in scoring. As ugly as it is, they're averaging 109
the second best offense in the NBA in terms of offensive rating.
So they're a little better.
They did last year, too. We saw what happened in the playoffs.
But they weren't this good.
I get your point.
They've improved offensively. I think he helps them with the spacing, but I don't think his help offensively is enough to get over the hump. Where he's got to help them most is defensively, because they are giving up 105 a night. And throughout this stretch here where they've struggled, they've had some injuries, but the real issue is they don't defend like they used to. And I think if he does, to Kevin's point, if he can be a difference maker, because his defense, if he plays it, is the way you have to have bigs play today. You got to be able to play in space. That half court is much bigger than it used to be. So you need bigs that can switch on ball screens. You need bigs that can guard late in possessions out on the perimeter and force penetration into help. And he's got the ability to do that. And if he gets back to Kevin's point, it could be a difference maker.
But, Matt, you said, of course you can do both. But what's your priority? When you walk on that floor at first practice and say, I got it, switch it up. I got this guy. Who's the best player on the other team? I want him. Who's the best front court player? Give him to me. And all of a sudden you set the tone like, hey, I'm here. Yeah, your jumper goes for you, but it's your priority as to what you do. People know your priority very quickly. Like if he's thinking, I'm a scorer, they're going to see through that really quick. Be who you're going to be, man. Be a defensive guy that says, I got the other team's top guy.
And if he sets the tone, that means you can be valuable when you aren't scoring offensively. And he can't be on this team and say, score 5 points and not have an impact. He needs to make sure
he may have been humbled
3 blocks.
Orlando too.
Exactly. Hey, welcome back to winning.
He's also got free agency coming up in a couple of months.
That's usually
never hurts. It's usually a good incentive for a player as well. Raptors, remember, they were right on the Cavaliers' tail. They've dropped all the way down to 5th in the Eastern Conference.